Hello, my friends. It's Nick, the ASMR nerd. And today we're going to look at some more Magic cards. It's been a little while. And this set recently came out about 2 weeks ago, as of the time of recording. As you can see, this is a crossover between Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, and that's pretty exciting to me. It's kind of weird that this hasn't happened before now, actually, because both Magic and D&D are owned by the same parent company, Wizards of the Coast, which I believe in turn is owned by Hasbro, I'm pretty sure. So this is kind of a long time in coming. Now, it has actually sort of happened the other way around. There were a couple of D&D source books that were put out in Magic settings. There's the Theros and Ravnica settings, I believe. So it's gone that way, but it's not gone the D&D into Magic direction before, if that makes sense. So I'm pretty excited to check this out. This is a bundle. So it comes with 10 booster packs of the draft booster variety and a deck box and some other stuff. So I'm just gonna unpack this. Well, get some nice box tapping sounds, and we'll probably end up opening 1 or 2 of the booster packs, maybe 3 at the outside, just because I go through them quite slow. I like to really savor the art, read all the words, so you'll see what I mean. I hope you find it nice and relaxing, though. So I've not opened any packs of this set before, and I should also point out I'm not really big into Magic these days. I don't play anymore, but I do enjoy picking up a couple packs every now and again just to see what kind of stuff they're printing these days, basically. So yeah, I'm no expert, but I have fun looking at the pretty pictures and reading, the mechanics. So this is, I'm assuming this is Drizzt, I might be pronouncing that wrong, Drizzt Do'Urden, who is a sort of a famous character in the D&D world. This is obviously some kind of dragon. There's that deck box. It's almost got a kind of like a mermaid-like look. I guess it's a scale mail. I don't know. Or maybe it's a dragon. Ooh, that was kind of loud. Maybe it's dragon scales. So, it says here on the back, every game is a new campaign. The crossover you've been waiting for is finally here. The heroes and monsters of the Forgotten Realms have ventured into Magic. These packs contain iconic characters from Dungeons and Dragons, ready to join your favorite deck. While your path may be fraught with peril, magnificent rewards await you at its end. And inside this here bundle, we get a fancy alt art card, foil card, 10 booster packs of the draft booster type, an Adventures in the Forgotten Realms card box, 20 additional, or actually 20 foil cards and 20 basic land cards, 3 oversized dungeon cards. Okay, so the dungeon cards are a new mechanic that I'm pretty excited to check out here, and a big old D20. This might be the most appropriate set for the D20. Normally these boxes come with the D20 anyway. they call it their spin down life counter. It's how you track your life in Magic. But yeah, obviously with the D&D crossover, it takes on even more significance, right? So, okay, let's do this. And this is just, I discovered this last time I did one of these bundle unboxings. This is just a spacer, just a filler. It's just here to bulk up the package, but it makes nice sounds. We'll put that aside. These are the dungeon cards, which I'll explain in a moment. You can see there's actually quite a bit of art on the inside here. Maybe you can see that. It's kind of hard to show on the camera here, the angle of the lights, but there's a bunch of artwork on the inside of this sleeve. Put that over there. I've got just a little promotional insert here, I guess. Oh yeah, that's right. There is also a tie-in D&D campaign that's free that you can download. MTGstory.com. I might have to check that out. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Big old beholder there. With a dungeon card. A bunch of people holding magic cards. That's fun. Alright, that can go over there. So, my understanding is these dungeon cards allow you to sort of play out an adventure over the course of your turns in a game of Magic. And you start up at the top here, and you each time, I guess it's each turn, you move your way through. You can make a choice of how you pass through these dungeons. I'm not sure if it's something that you play as a player, and then you specifically get the benefit, or if your opponent moves through them as well. I honestly don't know. But they're of course made to look like dungeons from D&D. They're pretty fun. This is the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It begins in the Yawning Portal. This is a dungeon that I have encountered before in the Waterdeep campaign, the official campaign. So that's kind of fun. The Lost Mine of Phandelver, another classic D&D adventure. And the Tomb of Annihilation, once again, classic, although I've never played that one. But yeah, this is a pretty neat mechanic that they've added in for this set that really ties in pretty nicely. I might have to actually play some games to get a feel for how these work. But you get different benefits depending on which room you choose to go into, and then at the end you get some major rewards, like in the Mad Wizard's Lair. Once you get through, draw 3 cards and reveal them. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. That's pretty fun. And these are huge, right? These are, as it says, oversized can see they're like the size of my hand. Very big for Magic cards. Those are fun. Put those aside. And let's go to, that's kind of loud. Let's first of all take the stuff out so it's not making noise in there. We'll look at the box itself again in a second, but so here is our D20 with the set logo on there. And like I said, maybe the most appropriate use of a D20 ever in Magic the Gathering. But it's a pretty chunky one. It's pretty big. It's got this lovely kind of semi-translucent, pearlescent color to it. Almost a milky kind of look. It's nice. Okay, put that there. Oops. So these are our basic lands. These are, oh, this is our special alternate art foil card. We'll open that up and take a closer look. And then these are probably our foil lands under here. And these are our booster packs. Interestingly, it looks like they opted to have only one piece of art for the booster packs in this set. I wonder what's up with that. And then a couple of rules reference cards. Probably put those aside. Take a quick peek at the box itself here. We've got a dragon on the side, the name of the set on the top, and then the bottom portion is just black cardboard. I've said it many times before in past unboxings like this, but I love the texture of these card boxes. They've got like a slightly rough, almost woven looking texture to them, as you can see. But they too, of course, make some great sounds. Okay. Let's, make a bunch of noise trying to pick up these land cards and dropping them. Let's check out this promo card. And some foil lands. So we get an alternate art version of Treasure Chest. Treasure Chest, a 3-mana artifact. And right, okay, so this is another new mechanic they've added here, where you roll on a d20, and that determines the outcome, which is of course a very D&D thing to do. So you pay 4 mana and sacrifice Treasure Chest to roll a d20. On a 1, a critical failure, it's trapped. You lose 3 life. On a 2 to 9, create 5 treasure tokens. Now I don't know what treasure tokens do, honestly. I'll have to read up on that. On a 10 to 19, you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. And on a 20, on a critical, search your library for a card. If it's an artifact card, you may put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card into your hand. Then shuffle. Yeah, that's pretty darn good. That's pretty darn good. But you gotta roll that 20, of course. And then we've got foil lands, which presumably depict various places amongst the Forgotten Realms. Faerun. I've also said this many times, but the card art is always one of my favorite things about Magic cards, especially the land card art. Very pretty. Doesn't look like much of a plains, but apparently it is. Also, I just noticed each one of these has flavor text. That's not normal. Lands don't normally have flavor text, I don't think. Maybe that's a new thing, I don't know. It says here, you've traced the tensions in 10 towns to the dwindling reindeer populations, but what has been hunting them? So these are written, this flavor text is written from the perspective of a DM. That's really fun. Just, a DM describing a setting. This one says, seeking to learn why the ancestors have fallen silent, you've made your way to their ancient cairns. Searching for a vanished caravan that was bound for Silvery Moon, you've come to a bank of mysterious fog. And this one here says, venturing beneath the desert sands, you've discovered an alien power pulsing with inconceivable energy. That's so cool. That's really flavorful. I like that a lot. An island. In crystal-studded waters far below the surface, you discovered an incubating egg of mysterious origin. After careful study, you've determined that the giant ruins served to track the movement of the planets, and they will soon align once more. The conjunction of the spheres. Let's get our Witcher up in this as well. As your ship clears the edge of Waterdeep Harbor, you notice pirate sails on the horizon. What has made them so bold? Alarmed by the news you brought, the storm giant king of the Maelstrom has called his kin to council. Very pretty card art. Swamps. As a plague ravages the world above, you've made your way into the Underdark in search of a fungal panacea. Your search for a stolen artifact has brought you to the edge of the Mere of Dead Men. Spooky. As you trudge through the sewers of Baldur's Gate, it dawns on you, where are all the rats? Yikes. You expected to meet hostile drow in this ancient ruin, but they fled long ago. What darkness could have driven them out? I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but if you hear kind of a tapping sound in the background, that's actually rain. which is kind of surprising given that it's the middle of August. Well, the beginning of August. And that is usually a very dry time of year here. But we just happen to have a little rainstorm going on right now. So you might hear some rainfall outside, which hopefully you find relaxing as well. Here we've got mountains. I want to see mountains, Gandalf. How many different properties can we merge into one video here? So far we've hit MTG, D&D, Witcher, Lord of the Rings. I'm sure I can get a Skyrim reference in somewhere. You meant to simply rest in Hundlestone, but the miners have told you stories of whispers in the dark below. Better help those Hundlestone miners. Your path lies across the spine of the world, where every cave hides some new danger. Indeed. You ventured deep into the heart of the mountain to determine what can calm its quaking rage. As you make camp near the ancient ruin, you hear the sound of drums echoing in halls where no dwarf has lived for generations. Just these little snippets of flavor text, they really make me want to go play D&D. I want to go on a good old-fashioned adventure. And some forest cards. That's really pretty. As the sun reaches its zenith on the day of the solstice, a castle shimmers into view on the hilltop, just as the ancient text predicted. It's very pretty. I think forest cards are usually my favorite. As you venture deeper under the boughs of Neverwinter Wood, arrows in a tree trunk suggest you might not be welcome. Yeah. Elves. Oh, that's a neat looking, like underground kind of forest, I think. As monsters from the Underdark rampage across the world above, you've delved deep underground to determine what has driven them upward. And this doesn't look like a forest at all. But apparently it is. Before the Elf Queen will aid you, you must find a way to cure the strange rot afflicting the roots of the ancient trees. I guess those are the ancient trees. Cool. So, those are the land cards, and these will be the same, just non-hollow foil, so they won't be so shiny. But they'll be all the same flavor text and all that, so we'll put those aside for now, and we'll get on to the booster packs. So here we have one 15-card draft booster, as opposed to a collector's booster or whatever those other ones they have now are. This is basically the same old booster pack that Magic has always had. The usual distribution of commons, uncommons, and a rare, or mythic rare. So let's take a look at some of these cards. You know, at the start of the video, I mentioned that I don't play Magic much these days anymore. It's true. I haven't played a game for a very long time, except a little bit of MTG Arena. But what I do play quite a bit of is D&D. And as a matter of fact, I have some ASMR-ish D&D that you may or may not be aware of, but that you might enjoy. It's a collaboration with Amy K of Amy K ASMR, Sage of Whisperwind ASMR, and Mixed ASMR as well in some of the earlier episodes. It's called Roll for Relaxation, and our wonderful DM Kyle has led us on quite an adventure. It's a ASMR-ish D&D podcast, essentially, where we play sessions. It's our actual play podcast, and then we edit them down into something a little bit tighter, and then we do a bunch of soundscape work to really bring the environments to life. When I say we, I don't mean me. I mean our DM Kyle, or our good friend Bearded Audio ASMR, who you maybe know. But anyway, please go check out these awesome creators. I'll link them all down below. And I'll also link Roll for Relaxation. We have a lot of fun recording it. There's, I think, a dozen episodes out so far. And you can find it anywhere that fine podcasts are found. Or here on YouTube as well. I'll put all that stuff in the video description, so please do go check it out if that sounds up your alley. Okay, promo's over now. Let's take a look here. We've got Faraday's Fireball. A 5-mana instant. Faraday's Fireball deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Roll a d20. For on a 1 to 9, it deals 2 damage to each player. And on a 10 to 20, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. So basically, there's a 50-50 chance that you will damage yourself a little bit with this one as well. Classic Fireball. Secret Door. A 1-mana blue defender. It's a wall, basically. It is literally a wall. Okay, this must be a new kind of keyword thing. Venture into the dungeon. Aha. So I think that ties into these. So, when you activate something that says venture into the dungeon, you begin to progress through these dungeon cards. I think that's how it works. So, 5 mana to venture into the dungeon. Activate only as a sorcery. Yeah, it says here, enter the first room or advance to the next room. Got it. The way opened before him, and the dust of centuries stirred in the air. It's very flavorful. I love it. A half-elf monk. 4 mana, white, human elf monk. A 1/4. With vigilance, so attacking doesn't cause it to tap. Stunning strike. Lets you tap creatures. Pay mana to do so. This fight was over the moment you picked up that clumsy cleaver of a sword. Grim Bounty. Grim Bounty. 2 swamps and 2 colorless mana for a black sorcery. Destroy target creature or planeswalker and create a treasure token. This is what a treasure token is. It's an artifact with tap it and sacrifice it to add 1 mana of any color. Okay. Freed from the need to pay tribute to the dragon, the villagers gladly paid the dragon slayers instead. It's a dragon's head, I guess. The Ranger's Longbow, an artifact. Equipped creature creature gets +2/+1 and has reach. So that means it can attack things with flying. An equip cost of 3. Seems a little pricey, maybe, for what it does, but with the right weapon, a fearsome beholder is nothing more than a big floating bullseye. The hoarding ogre. Look at that grin on that ogre's face. 4 mana red ogre creature, a 3/3, and whenever it attacks, roll a d20. This is going to be good. On a 1 to 9, create a treasure token. On a 10 to 19, create 2 treasure tokens. And on a 20, create 3. Honestly, that's actually a little more boring than I expected. But still, that's kind of fun. You come to a river. Choose one. Oh, that's great. So it's like you're giving your party a choice which way to go. A 2 mana blue instant. The first option, fight the current. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Or find a crossing. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. That's fun. That's actually really, really neat. Feign Death. 1 mana black instant. Until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control with a +1/+1 counter on it. A drastic measure for dangerous times. Ooh, so pretty. A celestial unicorn. A 3 mana white unicorn creature. A 3/2. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on celestial unicorn. I could see that being very good in the right deck. When all hope fails, its light remains. Are we into uncommons now? No, yeah, we are. Okay. The Lurking Roper. Yikes. Lurking Roper doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever you gain life, untap Lurking Roper. You see, stalactites grow down from the ceiling, while stalagmites reach. Ridiculous. 3 mana for 4/5, really good, except the fact that it doesn't untap. But again, in the right deck, could be pretty solid. The classic Ray of Frost. 2 mana blue enchantment with flash, so you can play it whenever you could play an instant. When Ray of Frost enters the battlefield, if enchanted creature is red, tap it. As long as enchanted creature is red, it loses all abilities. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. This is very much a red hate card. That's pretty situational. The Chaos Channeler. 4 mana red creature. A human shaman. Wild Magic Surge. Ooh, this could be fun. Whenever Chaos Channeler attacks, roll a d20. On a 1 to 9, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. On a 10 to 19, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. Or on a 20, the top 3. That's pretty good. That could, in fact, be quite chaotic. Our rare card is the Sphere of Annihilation. Okay, it's a artifact that you cast with black mana, and it's got a variable cost. You can choose how much you want to spend there. That doesn't have to be black mana, that can be any color. Sphere of Annihilation enters the battlefield with X void counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile Sphere of Annihilation. All creatures and planeswalkers with mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it, and all creature and planeswalker cards in graveyards with a mana value less than or equal to the number of void counters on it. Holy cow. So you can basically, if you spend enough on it, just wipe the whole board. Empty all graveyards. That's crazy. I don't know that it's especially good, but it's crazy. I'm sure someone could figure out how to use it quite deviously. And we get another foil plains for good measure. And a non-foil island. And a regular-sized dungeon of the Mad Mage. They're the same. This one's big. That's fun that we get a little dungeon in each pack, maybe. Neat. Okay. Well, let's do one more, shall we? I had someone mention in a previous card pack opening video that, you know, I can just open them like a normal person and like use the seam to do it. The reason I snip them with the scissors is because it's quieter. Because these crinkly packs make an awful racket when you try and tear them open the normal way. So, if anyone was ever wondering why I do it that way, that is why. I think I'm leaving a card behind here. There. It's a token, I think. Okay. Unexpected Windfall. 4 mana, red instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasure tokens. The treasure tokens are a real theme here, huh? Fortune favors the fortunate is the flavor text. Mordenkainen's Polymorph. 2 mana, blue instant. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 and gains flying. That's pretty fun. Your purpose may change along with your shape, but you will serve regardless. Yikes. A devoted paladin, just like our dear Estrella Palatino in Rule for Relaxation, played by Amy. Very devoted paladin. 5 mana, white orc knight. Oh, except Estrella is not an orc, but a 4/4. Beacon of Hope says here. When devoted paladin enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. I swore a sacred oath to protect the weak and punish those who threaten them. As long as I draw breath, I will protect you. What a paladin thing to say. how tiresome. Playing paladins can be fun. 2 mana zombie. Sacrifice another creature. A sepulcher ghoul or sepulcher, I guess is how you pronounce that. Sepulcher ghoul gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. So you can eat other zombies to make this zombie a better zombie. Ghouls devour the dead and any living creatures unwary enough to fall into their grasp. Find the path. 3 mana, green enchantment. Specifically for enchanting lands. When Find the Path enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. Enchanted land has tap it to add 2 forests. Wow, that seems good. Obviously in a green deck, but Swarming Goblins. 5 mana red goblin creature, although it looks like multiple creatures. And we get to roll the D20. On 1 to 9, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. I see. On a 10 to 19, create 2, and on a 20, create 3. So you do get a whole swarm of goblins. Potentially. You'll get at least 2. Like this card plus a token. The Silver Raven. It's a pretty cool piece of art, actually. A blue 1/1 artifact bird creature. With flying, of course. When Silver Raven enters the battlefield, scry. That's not bad. Wings take flight on whispered wind. Whispered wind. Yes, a bulette. This is basically a land shark type thing. Well, no spoilers. Anyway. 4 mana, green, beast. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, put a +1/+1 encounter on Bulette. It says here, capable of moving swiftly through even tightly packed earth and leaping surprising distances above ground. Bulettes are difficult to escape once they've caught scent of prey. Yeah, you don't want to mess with them. Clattering Skeletons. 4 mana, 4/3, a black skeleton creature. When Clattering Skeletons dies, venture into the dungeon. Those who die in the dungeon become its guardians. Ain't that the truth? Okay. You find a cursed idol. 2 mana. Green sorcery. Choose one. Smash it to destroy target artifact. Lift the curse to destroy target enchantment. Or steal its eyes to create a treasure token and venture into the dungeon. This sounds like really cool. I want to play some of this. Sounds really good. Okay, we're into our uncommons. The Displacer Beast. 3 mana. Blue Cat Beast. A 3/2. When Displacer Beast enters the battlefield, venture into the dungeon. It has displacement. For 3 colorless and a blue mana, return Displacer Beast to its owner's hand. So you can keep casting it and venturing into the dungeon. The only place you can be sure it's not is wherever it appears to be. have the single most useful item that you can carry with you in D&D, 50 feet of rope. Classic. A 1 mana artifact. Climb over. Target wall can't block this turn. Oh, that's fun. Tie up. 3 mana and tap. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Or repel down. 4 mana and tap to venture into the dungeon. Only activate as a sorcery. Man, they really thought about how to, integrate D&D into this set, and I'm loving it. Just, it's so evocative of D&D. Goblin Morningstar. Artifact. Equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and has trample. With an equip cost of 2. When Goblin Morningstar enters the battlefield, roll a d20. On a 1 to 9, you create a red goblin creature token. On a 10 to 20, you create a red goblin creature token, then attach Morningstar to it. That's not bad for the price. Oh my gosh, what is this? This is great. This is styled after. This is my rare in this pack. So it's like a full art kind of card, and it's styled after like the OG, like original D&D source books. Dungeon Module R16, Lair of the Hydra. An adventure for characters level 17 to 20. It's a land. It's a land card. If you control 2 or more other lands, Lair of the Hydra enters the battlefield tapped. So it acts as a forest. And then, for the cost of a variable amount and a forest, until end of turn, Lair of the Hydra becomes an X/X green Hydra creature. It's still a land. An X can't be 0. So it lets you turn your forest into a Hydra of a variable power that you get to choose. I love the aesthetic of this card. It's such old school D&D. That's really fun. That's really fun. And the swamp. And another Tomb of Annihilation. Another dungeon. It looks like you do get a dungeon card in each one of these packs. Alright. Well, there we have it. I really kind of want to open another pack, but this video is probably already getting pretty long. Ah, heck, you know what? Screw it. Let's open another pack. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one more. Twist my rubber arm, right? Okay. It's because I love you guys. I want you to be relaxed and happy. Maybe this is the pack that you need to fall asleep. Maybe you're so close, just so close, but not quite asleep yet. The Dawnbringer Cleric, the 2 mana white human cleric. When Dawnbringer Cleric enters the battlefield, choose 1. Cure wounds, so these are spells. Classic D&D spells. Cure wounds to gain 2 life. Dispel magic to destroy target enchantment. Or Gentle Repose. Exile target card from a graveyard. Very good. The Soul Knife Spy. 3 mana blue elf rogue for 3/2. Whenever Soul Knife Spy deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. My Psychic Blade cuts the mind and severs thoughts. Even if you survive, you'll never remember I was here. Yikes. A Horde Robber. A 2-mana Tiefling Rogue. Whenever Horde Robber deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. That seems pretty good, actually. And to think, a year ago I was picking pockets in Waterdeep. That seems pretty good. Eltergard Ranger. A human elf ranger, 5 mana for a 4/1 with reach. When Eltergard Ranger enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green wolf creature token. Alright, that makes it a little more reasonable. Since the fall of Elturel, they've walked the Sword Coast from Tethir to Icewind Dale, eyes always on their prey. Icewind Dale, such a classic game. Armory Veteran. A 2-mana red orc warrior. As long as Armory Veteran is equipped, it has Menace, which means it can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. This one is for goblins, this one is for owlbears, this one is for toast, and this one is for Goofy. A Direwolf Prowler. A 3-mana green wolf. And for a forest and a colorless, Direwolf Prowler gets +2/+2 and gains haste until end of turn. You can only do it once per turn. A little pricey maybe for what it is, but large as horses, direwolves must hunt often to satisfy their ravenous hunger. A mere human does little more than blunt their appetite. The Hobgoblin Captain. 2-mana red goblin barbarian, a 3/1 with pack tactics. Whenever Hobgoblin Captain attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, Hobgoblin Captain gains first strike until end of turn. Interesting. I think that's a new mechanic. I don't recall ever seeing that before. Hobgoblins do not fear death, for those who fall in battle have gained glory eternal. Oh, this is fun. Look at this. I wonder if this is like an alternate art version of this card or something. It's just a common, but it's done in like a manuscript or like, papery kind of style. A Baleful Beholder. 6 mana. Black creature. A 6/5. When Baleful Beholder enters the battlefield, choose one. Anti-magic cone. Each opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Or Fear Ray. Creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. I like that. That's really fun. That's a really cool presentation for that card. That's actually awesome. Yeah, I wonder if this is some kind of alternate art version. The classic Evolving Wilds. Sacrifice Evolving Wilds, search your library for a basic land card, put it into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Parts of Faerun still churn with the magic of arrogant Netherese archmages long dead. to our uncommons. You happen on a glade. Choose one. Journey on. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle. Or make camp. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Cool. The Reaper's Talisman. A black artifact. Well, it costs swamped, black mana to play. Whenever equipped creature attacks, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. Whenever equipped creature attacks alone, defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. With an equip cost of 2. That seems pretty good. That seems potentially really good. A Loathsome Troll. 5 mana green troll. A 6/2. Big attack, not so good on the defense. And, this is interesting. For 4 mana, roll a d20. Activate only if Loathsome Troll is in your graveyard. So once it's died. On a 1 to 9, put Loathsome Troll on top of your library. On a 10 to 19, return it to your hand. And on a 20, put it into play tapped. And our rare is a mythic rare. It's an old Gnawbone, and it's a full card art. I think they call these frameless cards. It's a dragon. A 7 mana green dragon, 2 forests, and 5 colorless mana. Legendary creature dragon, 7/7, with flying. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Holy cow, that sounds like it could get out of control very fast. Because treasure tokens give you mana, right? That could cascade real quick, I feel like. And it's not whenever Gnawbone deals damage to a player, it's whenever any creature you control. That's nuts. That seems really good. Of course, it's really expensive, but it just strikes me as quite powerful. Huh. Very cool. Lovely art. I love these full card frameless cards. The full card art. Well, that's a fun pull to end on. I have no idea if this is worth much. I really don't know, but it's a really cool looking card with a pretty fun effect. Oh, look at that. And we get another rare, not a mythic rare, mind you, but another rare as our bonus foil card. We get a foil Tasha's Hideous Laughter, which is a spell that I like to use as my bard, Dante Darrington, bard of some renown, in Roll for Relaxation. 3 mana, blue sorcery. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until that player has exiled cards with total mana value 20 or more. That's awesome. That's hilarious. That's potentially a really good milling card. The Raging Bahir reared back, opened its terrible maw, and collapsed in a fit of horrifying giggles. Again, I don't want to spoil Roll for Relaxation, but let's just say there's a point where Dante uses Tasha's Hideous Laughter to great effect. Turns out really, really well. That's awesome. Fun foil card. Mountain, and the Lost Mine of Phandelver. I wonder if those are the only 3 dungeons, because we've managed to get one of each of these oversized ones. So, okay, all right. Now we better call it a video. I'm just trying to grab the other ones over here. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter, but so that, my friends, was a look at the bundle for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, the new-ish Magic the Gathering set, the latest one, we'll say. And it is just packed with super fun D&D flavor. They've really gone over and above, aesthetically, mechanically. It's just awesome, and there's so many fun cards in here, like these full art cards, these frameless things, the old Gnawbone. The dungeons seem like such a cool concept, although in actual play, hard to know how they pan out, but they seem like fun. Lair of the Hydra, I love this. These cards are so much fun. Alright, well, hey, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it entertaining, amusing, and relaxing, of course. Please do go check out Roll for Relaxation if the sound of a sort of a down-tempo ASMR-ish actual play D&D podcast with amazingly crafted soundscapes and some pretty fun storytelling with yours truly and some other fantastic ASMR creators. If the sound of that appeals to you, please go check it out. Link is again down in the video description there. We have a ton of fun recording it, and there's plenty more to come. We've got lots of episodes in the bag. They just need to be edited and soundscaped, which takes quite a while. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun campaign, and I hope you enjoy it. If you do, go check it out. All right, thank you, my friends, for watching, and I look very forward to having you back here next time. Farewell for now.